Welcome, dear ones. We are Awakening to Radiance, and this is Carolyn, and I help people to awaken to the truth of who they really are. So today we have a list of 10 things that you can give up in order to raise your frequency and vibration instantly. So let's get going. So number one is to give up judging yourself. So it can be really easy when you are trying to do something, if you're trying to start something new or complete something, it doesn't matter what it is, but it can be really easy if you feel like you're not doing a good enough job to beat up on yourself, to judge yourself and be overly critical and give yourself a hard time for it. And this, of course, will get you nowhere good. This automatically lowers your vibration, puts you into a state of a perception of limitation, of lack, and fear. And so fear is at the absolute bottom of the spectrum in terms of vibration. We want to vibrate up here with love and possibility and gratitude and appreciation and joy and things like that. So when you give yourself a hard time, automatically lowers your vibration. So realize that you are human and that you, like all of us, are enrolled here in this school called life, and that everything you do is a learning opportunity. And so what that means is you're not going to do things perfectly. You're not. You're going to do things sometimes and have it not work, or you're not going to be really good at things right away, or some things at all. And that's okay. So you can accept your humanness and drop any ideas of perfection, because perfection does not exist. It doesn't even exist in nature. So holding yourself to ridiculously high standards is really mean and is automatically going to lead you to be overly critical of yourself. So try to forgive yourself when you do mess up or you do something you feel like you shouldn't have done. Just forgive yourself, let yourself off the hook, and learn from it. And you can take that learning and apply it going forward. So the number two thing is giving up holding grudges. So when people hurt us in life, it can be really easy to stay mad and sort of chew on it in our minds and go over and over it again and not let go of it. And all this does is keeps you stuck in that feeling of woundedness or hurt, fear, sadness, depression, whatever all the feelings are. It just keeps you stuck there. So instead of holding grudges, you want to try to live in a space of forgiveness. Now, I want to clarify, because forgiveness can get confusing for people. I've talked about forgiveness a lot in my healing practice over the years with people. And people sometimes get confused and think that if they forgive somebody for something they've done that's hurt them, that means they're condoning whatever happened, that they're saying that that was okay. And that's absolutely not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness basically says, I'm hurting, I'm holding on to this old wound, and I don't want to hold on to it anymore because I understand that it's hurting me. It's not even affecting the other person. It's just hurting me to hold on to this anger or resentment. And so I want to let go of that because I want to be free, because I want to feel good and I want to be at peace. So the forgiveness is for you so you can set yourself free. It has nothing to do with the other person. So living in a state of forgiveness, and forgiveness is a choice, will definitely raise your vibration. Okay, so number three is giving up the need to be right. So, frequently we can get into debates. I've been seeing a lot of debating happening on social media these days with everything that's happening. And we get into this sort of I'm right, you're wrong kind of dynamic with people sometimes, right? Or even with life. And then, we end up in a lot of constriction and a lot of fear energetically and emotionally when we need to be right all the time and we're holding to our view of things. So that lowers our vibration to a place of, again, anger, resentment, rigidity, inflexibility. And we want to be flexible and flowing and One of the things that I've always heard that I feel like is really accurate is decide if you would rather be happy or you would rather be right. You kind of have those two choices. And of course, we always want to move toward happiness and joy and peace and all of that. And so letting go of that need to be right when you notice it cropping up. So number 4 is the need for approval, the need for other people to like you, the need for other people to approve of you and accept you and all of that. You have no control over whether other people like you or not. And the thing is that how other people feel about you, how other people perceive you is none of your business. And it's actually not your concern. The only thing that ultimately really matters is that you like yourself and that you approve of yourself. So when you are needing the approval and everything of other people, it puts you again in a fear state because then you're constantly trying to people please and make everybody else happy and be who you think other people want you to be. And then you're undermining yourself. You're turning your back essentially on yourself and who you really need to be and how you really want to authentically express yourself. So let go of the need for other people to like you and learn to like and approve of yourself. So number 5 is giving up junk food. So junk food really, we could talk about food, that's a wide range, but the main first thing to give up is junk. So sugar, highly processed food, fast food. So those things are really, really low vibration. There's very little nutrients, if any, in a lot of those foods. And of course, then when we take those in, it takes our bodies a lot more time to process those foods. And so, they don't digest well. And then when we're eating that way, it affects the balance and harmony in our bodies and will throw us completely out of whack in terms of our internal balance. And it will cause things like mood swings, trouble sleeping, fatigue, all kinds of, emotional, mental, physical issues. And so we want to eat foods as much as possible, live foods, salads, vegetables, fruits, as much as possible, and stay away from those foods that have absolutely no nutritional value because they will make you not feel as good. So number 6 is horror movies and the like. So horror movies, things that are really negative, like where there's a lot of murder. So not just movies, but TV shows and even books you might read or videos you might watch on YouTube, true crime stuff, horror stuff, things where people are getting killed or bad things are happening to people, things that make you feel fearful or really, really sad or really hopeless. You want to kind of stay away from things like that because, of course, fear, again, is at the bottom level, vibrationally speaking. And anytime, as you know, if you're watching a horror movie or something like that or listening to or reading something really negative, it automatically is going to lower your vibration. So watching things that make you feel good, that are inspiring, and reading things that make you feel good, that are inspiring, that give you hope, that make you laugh. So comedies are great, or things that are, about nature, or, things that just generate positive feelings, or at the very least, not negative ones. So number 6 is limiting friendships. So friendships with people where, you don't really feel understood, where you don't feel, a real connection with the person, where you feel drained after you've been with someone, giving up friendships with people who complain a lot, who blame a lot, who play the victim, people who aren't accepting responsibility for their own lives and happiness are going to be a real drag because typically those kinds of people complain a lot and they live in the world of problems. And so when you hang out with them, they're automatically going to lower your vibration. And sometimes it can even feel like we have to lower our vibration even to be around some people, right? And so you definitely don't ever want to compromise your energetic state in order to be around someone else or to do something else. And if it's a situation where you feel like you do have to lower your vibration, or you feel drained by someone chronically, or you're just, tired of the negativity because they're constantly negative and complaining and blaming and bitching and moaning about things, then you may want to consider moving past those particular relationships, because we do become like the people we spend the most time with. So you want to spend time with people who uplift you, who are, kind of not just like you, but who are working to improve themselves and to take responsibility for their lives and happiness, and who inspire you and make you feel good to be around. So those are the kinds of people you want to be around, and, move past these other relationships that feel very limiting. So number 8 is playing the victim. So again, like I just said, people play the victim to life all the time, right? We can play the victim to things that happened in the past to us when we were children. A lot of people right now are playing the victim to what's happening out in the world in terms of the pandemic or our government. There's all kinds of ways that we can play the victim to life. And so anytime that you are living in blame and complaining, you're playing the victim. So automatically. So we want to stop blaming and complaining. If something in your life does not work, then look at ways that you can change it. And if it's a situation that you cannot change, then at least stop complaining about it, right? So that's one of the things. It's like if I don't like something, then I ask myself, is there a way that I can change it? If there is, then I try to change it somehow, or change my viewpoint on it. And if I can't change it, then can I leave the situation? So those are your options, but complaining and blaming is only going to keep you stuck in that victim role, which is a role of fear and lack and limitation. So we want to accept responsibility for our lives, what we're creating in the world. And so, and it always comes back to you. It always comes back to your relationship with yourself. So if you are perceiving being victimized by something that's happening in the world, then you always want to bring that back to yourself. Okay, am I playing the role of victim within my relationship with myself? And if I am playing victim in my relationship with myself, then there must be an inner perpetrator. And so that's where we work, is to integrate these parts of ourselves, heal and integrate these parts of ourselves inside of ourselves that are playing the role of victim and perpetrator, instead of projecting all of that into the outer world and then trying to fight that outer image. So stop playing the victim. So number 9, expectation. So dropping expectations. So it's very, very easy to put expectations on ourselves, on other people, and on life in general. And, life has its own plans. Life has its own plans. Other people have their own things. And so when we place expectations on things, I don't know, I feel like they rarely go the way we want them to go, right? Because we're dealing with other human beings who have their own ideas about what they need to do and they want to do. And again, life just has its ideas. So it's fine to set intentions. We want to do that. I like the word intention rather than goal, because it feels a little more flowy to me. We can set intentions, but then in terms of law of attraction and manifesting, what we want to do, instead of saying, okay, it has to look this way, it has to take this form, because that's a rigid expectation. And then when that expectation isn't met exactly the way we want, we're disappointed. And then we go into sadness, maybe hopelessness, fear, resistance, right? We're angry. So this way, what you want to do instead is to say, I'm setting some intentions and I'm letting go of exactly how it needs to show up. I'm not in control of exactly how that thing shows up. So however it comes to me, I'm going to try to accept whatever form it shows up with. So the opposite of expectation is acceptance, right? So accepting life on life's terms. And again, making change where you can. And if you can't, working to accept the way things are instead of putting rigid expectations. And that way, Two, when we let go of rigid expectations, it allows us to be more of who we really are. It allows life to sort of open up and bring more to us. We get in more of a creative, co-creative experience with the universe instead of one of limitation and fear. All right, so number 10 is letting go of the illusion of control. And this is an illusion. We are not in control. We're not in control of what other people do, what they don't do, what they say, what they don't say. We're not in control of the world at large. The only thing that we have control over is our own response to things and really what we do with our own, inside of our own being, right? So what the words you speak, you're in control of, and you're in control of like what you put in your body, how you treat your body, and the actions you take. But that's pretty much it. We're not in control of other people or other situations. And when we try to control other people and other situations outside of us, we go into that place of fighting and resistance and fear. Oh my God, why am I not getting this need met? I'm not getting things the way I need them to be, right? And then we'll try to kind of control life like it's a chess game, right? Like these pieces should stay over here, and as long as they stay over here in this way, I feel fine. And then when you're giving other situations outside of yourself far more power than they should have, when really you have all the power within yourself. And so, the invitation is to accept the responsibility for what you can control, again, which is your response to things, what you do and don't do, what you say and don't say, and how you treat your own body, what you take in media-wise, food-wise, take as much responsibility as you possibly can for those things. Because then when you're really accepting responsibility for the things that you can control, the need to control externals kind of starts to go away. You don't feel the same need to control the outside world when you are taking responsibility for what you can in your life. All right, so that's it. Those are our 10 things. So I hope this has been very helpful. And if you feel like someone you know could benefit from this, please do pass it along. And if you liked this video, please do like it with the button below. And if you have not yet, please do subscribe. And I will look forward to seeing you very soon, Monday at the latest. All right, so have a really wonderful, beautiful day, and I will see you soon. Have a blessed day.